The massive Galactic Empire fleet appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. Their ships blocked out the sun in many places, casting giant shadows across major cities. The fleet stretched from horizon to horizon, a terrifying display of alien power that humanity had never seen before. Admiral Zixthor stood on the bridge of his command ship, his 4 eyes narrowing as he studied the blue planet below. He had conquered 17 worlds before this, and Earth would be his 18th victory. Or so he thought. "Send the message to their leaders," he ordered, his voice cold and mechanical through the ship's translation system. "Let's get this over with quickly." On Earth, every television, radio, and digital screen suddenly switched to the same broadcast. The alien message was clear and threatening. "People of Earth, this is Admiral Zixthor of the Galactic Empire. Your planet is now under our control. Surrender within 24 hours or face extinction. Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. Running is your best option." In New York, the UN Security Council gathered for an emergency meeting. Representatives from all major nations sat in tense silence as they watched the alien ships through the building's large windows. "They think we're primitive," General Sarah Chen of the Chinese Army spoke first, her voice steady despite the situation. "That's their first mistake." The Russian representative nodded slowly. "They don't know about Project Guardian." He referred to the secret orbital defense system that humanity had built together, hidden from public view. In the Pentagon, U.S. military commanders were already moving to high alert. Colonel James Martinez watched as his team activated defense protocols that had been designed for exactly this scenario. "They think we're running scared," he muttered, watching the radar screens. "Let them think that." Back in space, Admiral Zixthor received the first reports about Earth's response. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Krell, seemed confused. "Sir, they're not panicking as expected," Krell reported, checking his data screens. "Their military forces are organizing with unusual efficiency, and we're detecting some strange energy signatures we can't explain." Zixthor dismissed these concerns with a wave of his hand. "All primitive species show some resistance at first. They'll break like all the others." But Earth's response continued to surprise them. Instead of chaos and surrender, they saw coordination. Instead of fear, they saw preparation. Military bases worldwide went dark, disappearing from the Empire's scans. Civilian populations were being evacuated from major cities with remarkable speed and order. "Sir," Krell's voice now showed genuine concern, "their technology levels. Our initial scans may have been wrong. We're detecting advanced shielding systems that weren't there before." In orbit around Mars, hidden human defense stations quietly powered up. Teams of astronaut soldiers checked their weapons and waited for orders. They had trained for this day, even though many had hoped it would never come. The UN Security Council reached their decision quickly. The Council President stepped up to the global broadcast system. His message was brief. "To the Galactic Empire, Earth declines your offer of surrender. We suggest you reconsider your position." Admiral Zixthor actually laughed when he received the message. "They dare to threaten us. Launch the first attack squadron. Target their largest city. Show them what happens to worlds that defy the Empire." As the Empire's ships moved into attack position, they didn't notice the small changes in Earth's orbit. They didn't see the hidden defense platforms activating. They didn't realize that humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Colonel Martinez smiled as he watched the Empire's ships approach. He opened a secure channel to all Earth defense forces. "Remember your training. Let them make the first move. Show these aliens why humanity has survived everything our own world has thrown at us." The first battle for Earth was about to begin, and the Galactic Empire was about to learn a hard lesson about underestimating humans. Admiral Zixthor's first attack on Earth had failed miserably. Now he sat in his command chair, reviewing intelligence reports that should have been read months ago. His face darkened as he realized how badly they had underestimated these humans. "Show me the conquest of planet Varix again," he commanded. The holographic display flickered to life, showing their last victory 6 months ago. The peaceful Varixians had surrendered within hours, their simple weapons useless against Empire technology. Lieutenant Krell cleared his throat nervously. "Sir, I've analyzed our past conquests. All 17 planets we conquered were different from Earth." "Explain," Sixthor growled, already dreading the answer. "The humans have been fighting among themselves for thousands of years. They've survived multiple near-extinction events. Their entertainment media is filled with stories about defeating alien invasions. Sir, they've been preparing for us without even knowing we exist. On Earth, the first signs of the Empire's intelligence failure were becoming clear. Their shift shields, designed to stop energy weapons, struggled against primitive human kinetic weapons, simple rockets and bullets. In a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen watched the satellite feeds with satisfaction. "The Empire's ships are built to fight advanced civilizations," she explained to her staff. "They never expected us to use outdated projectile weapons. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." The Empire's first attack squadron had retreated after losing 3 ships to what they considered primitive missiles. Admiral Sixthor couldn't understand it. Their scans had shown no advanced technology on Earth, yet somehow these humans had managed to hide entire defense systems from them. "Sir," Krell reported, "we've discovered something disturbing. The humans have been launching satellites for decades, but many of them disappeared from our scans. We thought they had fallen from orbit, but what?" Sixthor demanded. "They're still up there, sir, cloaked. We only noticed when one of them fired on our ships. Their stealth technology rivals our own." In orbit, Commander Lisa Wong of the Secret Space Force smiled as she watched another Empire scout ship try to detect her station. The Chinese-American officer commanded one of Earth's hidden orbital platforms, part of a network that had been secretly built by a coalition of nations. "They still can't see us," she reported to Earth Command. "Their scanning technology is based on detecting advanced power signatures. They never thought to look for simple solar power and cold gas thrusters. Sometimes being primitive has its advantages." Back on the Empire's command ship, Admiral Sixthor received more troubling reports. Human military bases that had seemed abandoned were suddenly active again. Civilian populations had been evacuated with military precision. And most worrying of all, Earth's nations had united against the common threat. "Sir," Krell's voice was now filled with genuine concern, "you need to see this historical data. The last time all Earth's major powers united was during something they called World War II. Their technological advancement during that single conflict was unprecedented." In the Pentagon, Colonel Martinez watched the Empire's fleet repositioning. They were finally starting to show caution, but it was too late. The first phase of Earth's defense plan had worked perfectly. Let the enemy underestimate you, then surprise them. "All stations report ready," his assistant announced. "Project Guardian is fully operational. The Empire still hasn't detected our main defense grid." Martinez nodded grimly. "They thought we'd run scared. Instead, we've caught them in our web. Send word to all commands. Operation Hornet's Nest is a go." As Earth's hidden defenses prepared to spring their trap, Admiral Sixthor finally realized the truth. They hadn't found a primitive civilization ready for conquest. They'd found a species that had been hardened by conflict, prepared for invasion, and united against a common enemy. The real war was about to begin, and for the first time in his career, Admiral Sixthor felt something he'd never expected to feel during a conquest. The Empire's attack on New Delhi marked the beginning of real warfare. Admiral Sixthor had chosen India's capital as their first ground target, expecting an easy victory against what they thought was a developing nation. It was another terrible mistake. The massive Empire ships descended through the clouds, their weapons charging. But the city below was far from defenseless. As soon as the alien ships came within range, hundreds of hidden anti-aircraft batteries emerged from what looked like ordinary buildings. All units, engage. Colonel Priya Patel's voice rang through the Indian Military Command Center. She had been preparing her forces for this moment. Show them how we protect our home. The sky lit up with a wall of missiles. Empire ships, still overconfident, found their shields struggling against the sheer number of projectiles. 2 cruisers fell from the sky before they could even fire a shot. Lieutenant Krell watched in horror from orbit. "Sir, we're losing ships to missiles. How can this be?" Admiral Zixthor slammed his fist on his command chair. "Impossible. Their weapons are primitive." "Sir," Krell replied, checking his screens, "they're using our shield's energy against us. The more power we put into our shields, the more they overheat from these constant physical impacts. It's like being pelted with millions of tiny rocks." On the ground, the battle was even worse for the Empire. Their ground troops, finally deployed into the city, found themselves in a nightmare. Every street was a trap, every building a potential fortress. Indian soldiers, armed with a mixture of traditional and advanced weapons, seemed to appear and disappear at will. "They're in the sewers," an Empire commander screamed before his transmission went dead. Their advanced sensors, designed to detect energy weapons, were useless against simple ambush tactics. In the Pentagon, Colonel Martinez watched the battle feeds with satisfaction. New Delhi is showing them what humans can do. All cities begin Operation Urban Phantom. Across the globe, cities transformed. What looked like normal buildings revealed themselves to be hardened bunkers. Subway systems became underground fortresses. Years of preparing for this moment were finally paying off. Back in New Delhi, a group of Empire soldiers found themselves trapped in what they thought was a simple market square. Major Arun Singh and his Special Forces team had lured them perfectly. Now, Singh ordered through his radio. The square erupted in chaos. Shop fronts dropped away to reveal weapon emplacements. Snipers appeared on rooftops. Even the street itself split open, trapping the alien vehicles. "Sir," Krell reported to Admiral Zixthor, his voice shaking, "we've lost contact with 60% of our ground forces in New Delhi. The humans, they're not fighting like any species we've encountered. They're not afraid to die defending their home." The Admiral watched in disbelief as more of his ships fell from the sky. The humans had turned their own city into a weapon. Every building, every street, every shadow held danger for his troops. In the Indian Military Command Center, Colonel Patel received reports from all sectors. "The Empire is retreating. All units, press the advantage. Don't let them regroup." The remaining Empire forces fled the city in chaos. Their advanced weapons and armor meant nothing against an enemy who had turned urban warfare into an art form. As they retreated, they faced a final humiliation. Civilian volunteers emerged to help the military, showing no fear of the alien invaders. Admiral Zixthor stood in silence as the last survivors returned to the fleet. In just 6 hours, he had lost 20 ships and over 1,000 troops, and this was just one city. "Sir," Krell said quietly, "we're receiving similar reports from every city we've tried to engage. London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing. They're all ready for us. And sir, our long-range scans show they're sharing tactics. They're learning from each other." The Admiral finally understood. This wasn't going to be a conquest. This was going to be the fight of their lives. And for the first time in the Empire's history, they weren't sure they could win. In New Delhi, as the dust settled, Colonel Patel sent a simple message to all Earth commands. "First blood to humanity. Let them come. We're ready." After the humiliating defeat in New Delhi, Admiral Zixthor faced another shock. This time, it came from humanity's most unexpected weapon, the Internet. Earth's global communication network had turned into a powerful tool against the Empire. "Sir, we have a serious problem," Lieutenant Krell reported, his face pale. "The humans are sharing battle tactics online. Not just their military. Civilians too. They're studying our every move, finding our weaknesses, and spreading the information worldwide. In a hidden server farm beneath Silicon Valley, Dr. Emma Rodriguez led a team of hackers from 20 different nations. Their mission: crack the Empire's communication systems. What they discovered amazed them. Their technology is advanced, Dr. Rodriguez explained to military leaders via secure video link, but their cybersecurity is centuries behind ours. They never expected a primitive species to hack their systems. The Empire's frustration grew as their ship's control systems began failing mysteriously. Their targeting computers showed phantom targets. Their navigation systems led them into traps. Human hackers had turned the Empire's own technology against them. Meanwhile, in a secret facility in South Africa, Dr. Kwame Mensah made another breakthrough. "Look at this," he told his international research team, pointing to a captured Empire weapon. "Their energy shields can't handle rapid temperature changes. Our new freeze-then-burn missiles will tear right through them." Admiral Zixthor watched in horror as more of his ships fell to Earth's increasingly effective weapons. "How?" he demanded. "How are they adapting so quickly?" "Sir," Krell answered, reviewing the latest reports, "it's their scientific method. They don't just copy technology. They understand it, improve it, and share their findings. And they're doing it faster than we can counter." In orbit, Commander Wang's space station detected something new. The Empire was trying to bring in reinforcements through their faster-than-light jump points. But Earth was ready for this too. "Activate Project Lightbender," ordered General Chen from Earth Command. Hundreds of hidden satellites suddenly revealed themselves, generating a massive energy field that disrupted the Empire's jump points. Their reinforcements were cut off. The Empire's high command was now in chaos. Reports flooded in from all sectors. Humans using modified microwave weapons to cook Empire troops inside their armor, electromagnetic pulses shutting down Empire vehicles, even primitive radio waves scrambling their advanced sensors. "These humans," Admiral Zixthor muttered, watching another ship fall to Earth's defenses, "they're not just fighting us. They're studying us. Learning, adapting. Every defeat makes them stronger." In the Pentagon, Colonel Martinez received exciting news. The reverse engineering of captured Empire technology was proceeding faster than expected. Dr. Rodriguez's team had cracked their computer systems. Dr. Mensah's group had understood their weapons. And now, humanity was ready to take the next step. "Show me the prototype," Martinez ordered. In a secure hangar deep underground, engineers unveiled Earth's newest weapon, a fighter jet incorporating Empire technology with human ingenuity. It looked like a normal F-35, but its capabilities were far beyond anything the Empire could expect. "We kept our old designs," the chief engineer explained proudly. "They'll think it's just another primitive aircraft until it's too late." Admiral Zixthor received the news of Earth's latest weapon with growing dread. Not only were the humans resisting effectively, but they were also now turning Empire technology against its creators. His own superiors were demanding answers he couldn't provide. "Sir," Krell reported, his voice shaking, "we've detected something massive moving on Earth's moon. It appears they've had a secret base there all along, and it's powering up." The Admiral stared at the lunar readings in disbelief. All this time, humanity's greatest weapon had been hidden on their own moon, waiting for the right moment. As he watched, enormous energy signatures began emanating from the lunar surface. In the Pentagon, Colonel Martinez smiled as he sent a simple message to all Earth forces: "Operation Moonshot is go. Show them what humanity's really capable of." The Empire was about to learn that humanity's hidden strength wasn't just in their weapons or technology. It was in their endless capacity to innovate, adapt, and overcome. The battle near Earth's moon became the turning point of the war, as the Empire fleet positioned themselves for what they thought would be a decisive strike. Humanity's greatest secret was finally revealed. The lunar surface cracked open like an eggshell. Hidden doors bigger than cities slid apart, revealing massive hangars built deep within the moon. From these caverns emerged Earth's secret weapon, the Lunar Defense Fleet. All ships, battle formations. Commander Jessica Drake ordered from the bridge of the EDS Humanity's Hope, Earth's first space battleship. Remember your training. Show them what we've been building for the last 30 years. Admiral Zixthor couldn't believe his eyes. Impossible, he shouted as his sensors detected hundreds of ships launching from the moon. These primitives shouldn't have space warfare capabilities. But these weren't primitive ships. They combined stolen Empire technology with human innovation. While the Empire's ships were built for fighting advanced energy weapons, Earth's ships carried massive railguns that fired projectiles at near-light speed. "Sir," Lieutenant Krell reported, his voice trembling, "They're ships. They're using our own shield designs, but modified. And their weapons, they're unlike anything we've seen." The space battle erupted with devastating force. Empire ships, designed to fight energy weapons, found themselves being torn apart by simple kinetic projectiles moving at incredible speeds. Their shields, optimized for energy attacks, provided little protection against physical impacts. Commander Drake watched as her fleet executed perfect attack formations, Railgun batteries, full spread. Show them why humanity never stopped developing projectile weapons. In lunar orbit, the battle turned into chaos for the Empire. Their ships' advanced targeting systems struggled against Earth vessels that used minimal energy signatures. It was like trying to shoot at shadows. "They're using the moon's gravity," Krell shouted as another Empire ship was pulled into a trap. Earth's ships had positioned themselves to use the moon's gravitational field as both weapon and shield. On Earth, in the Global Command Center, General Chen watched the battle displays with pride. 30 years of secret preparation, she said to her staff. 30 years of hiding our true capabilities. And now we show them what humanity can really do. Admiral Zixthor's flagship rocked with another impact. "How?" he demanded. "How did they build all this without us detecting it?" The answer was simple but brilliant. Earth had used the Empire's own assumptions against them. They had hidden their advanced technology behind a facade of primitive development, building their real capabilities in secret. "All ships, execute Maneuver Thor's Hammer," Commander Drake ordered. The Earth fleet split into 3 groups, executing a complex attack pattern that had been practiced thousands of times in secret. Empire ships found themselves caught in a deadly crossfire. Earth vessels attacked from multiple angles, their railguns firing synchronized patterns that overwhelmed the Empire's shields through sheer force. "Sir, we've lost 40% of the fleet," Krell reported desperately. "Their tactics. They're not fighting like inexperienced warriors. They've trained for this." In the Lunar Command Center, Commander Drake received reports of Empire ships attempting to retreat. "Don't let them escape," she ordered. "Operation Clean Sweep is in effect." Hidden missile platforms on the moon's surface activated, launching thousands of missiles at the retreating Empire ships. These weren't ordinary missiles. They carried special electromagnetic pulses designed to disable Empire technology. Admiral Zixthor watched in horror as his mighty fleet was reduced to drifting hulks. The humans had not just beaten them, they had humiliated them. Their supposedly primitive enemies had outfought, and outmaneuvered the greatest fleet in the galaxy. "Full retreat," he finally ordered, his voice hollow. "Get us out of this system." But as the remaining Empire ships tried to flee, they made one final discovery. The humans had seeded their escape routes with gravitational mines, making faster-than-light travel impossible. Commander Drake sent a final message to the trapped Empire fleet. "Your choice is simple. Surrender or face complete destruction. Earth is no longer hiding its strength." The Battle of the Moon marked the moment when humanity stopped pretending to be weak. The galaxy was about to learn just how dangerous humans could be. The Empire's High Council gathered for an emergency meeting following their devastating defeat at Earth's moon. The Grand Chamber, usually a place of calm deliberation, now echoed with angry voices and accusations. "Admiral Zixthor has failed us completely," shouted Council Member Draz, slamming his fist on the table. 17 successful conquests. And now this. A single primitive world has brought our finest fleet to its knees. But Admiral Zixthor, standing before the council, had changed from his usual confident self. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "These humans, they're not like the others. They're different. They're dangerous." Meanwhile, Earth wasn't sitting idle. The captured Empire ships had provided humanity with something priceless: star maps and hyperspace coordinates of Empire worlds. In a secure command center beneath Geneva, the United Earth Defense Council made their bold decision. Commander Drake presented their plan. "We don't wait for them to return. We take the fight to them." The first human attack caught an Empire colony world completely by surprise. Earth's ships, now equipped with reverse-engineered jump drives, appeared suddenly in orbit around Proxima Colony. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force." The transmission went out. "Your defense systems are already compromised. Your weapons are offline. Surrender or face the consequences." The colony surrendered without firing a shot. They had never expected the primitives to strike back, let alone so far from Earth. Back in the Empire's capital, panic spread through the High Council. "How are they doing this?" demanded Supreme Chancellor Vex. "How have they reached our outer worlds?" The answer came from Lieutenant Krell, who had been analyzing the patterns. "Sir, they're not just copying our technology, they're improving it. Their ships are faster, their weapons more efficient. They're learning at an incredible rate." Reports flooded in from across Empire space. Human ships were appearing everywhere, not to conquer, but to demonstrate their power. They would disable a planet's defenses, demand surrender, and then leave, but not before broadcasting a message to the population about the Empire's lies. "These humans are inspiring rebellion," Council member Draz warned. "Other species are beginning to question our authority." Admiral Zixthor watched the reports with a grim understanding. "We never should have threatened their world," he muttered. "We woke something that should have been left sleeping." The Empire tried assassination as a desperate measure. They sent their best agents to eliminate Earth's leaders. But even this backfired spectacularly. In Washington, D.C., an Empire assassin found himself trapped in the White House's advanced security systems. In Beijing, another was caught by technology they hadn't known humans possessed. In Moscow, a third discovered that humans had already decoded their stealth systems. "Your assassination attempts are pathetic," transmitted Colonel Martinez to the Empire leadership. "We've been preparing for threats like you for centuries. Our own history taught us everything we needed to know." The Empire's military was in chaos. Their supposedly superior technology was being turned against them. Their secure communications were compromised. Their classified bases were being exposed to rebellion forces. In a private chamber, Supreme Chancellor Vex consulted with his closest advisors. "How do we stop them?" he demanded. An ancient council member spoke up. "We don't. We've made a terrible mistake. These humans, they're not just another species to conquer. They're the thing our ancestors warned us about." He pulled up ancient records, showing warnings about species that thrived on conflict, that grew stronger from adversity, that turned their enemies' strengths into weaknesses. Admiral Zixthor, watching human ships systematically dismantle another Empire defense fleet, finally understood. They hadn't found a primitive species to conquer. They had found humanity's oldest trick, appearing weak until it was time to be strong. "Send the retreat order," Supreme Chancellor Vex finally commanded. "All forces are to withdraw from human space immediately." But even as the order went out, they realized it might be too late. Humanity wasn't just defending anymore. They were hunting, and the Empire had given them every reason to want revenge. Commander Drake's message to Earth Command was simple. "The Empire is running. Phase 2 begins now." The final battle for galactic power took place not above Earth, but in the heart of Empire space, their capital system. The entire human fleet, led by Commander Drake's flagship, Humanity's Pride, emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. Look how the tables have turned. Commander Drake broadcast on all frequencies. You came to our world thinking we were primitive. Now we stand at the heart of your empire, giving you one last chance. Surrender or face extinction. Admiral Zixthor, watching from the Empire's capital defense station, felt a chill. Those were the exact words he had used when first threatening Earth. Now they were being thrown back at him by a species that had proven far more dangerous than anyone imagined. All Empire forces, Supreme Chancellor Vex announced, his voice shaking, engage the human fleet. We must protect our homeworld at all costs. But the Empire had already lost before the battle began. Human hackers had infiltrated their defense networks months ago. As Empire ships moved to attack positions, their weapon systems suddenly went offline. Did you really think we'd come here without preparing? Colonel Martinez's voice came through every Empire command channel. We learned from you. We improved on you. We surpassed you. The Empire's mighty defense fleet found itself helpless as human ships systematically disabled their engines and weapons. Earth's vessels, combining Empire technology with human innovation, were now far superior to anything the Empire possessed. Lieutenant Krell, monitoring the battle, turned to Admiral Zixthor with fear in his eyes. Sir, they're not just beating us. They're humiliating us. They want the galaxy to see this. He was right. The humans were broadcasting the battle across all Empire communications networks. Every colony world, every subject species, watched as the mighty Empire was brought to its knees by the very primitives they had tried to conquer. In the Empire's Grand Council chamber, Supreme Chancellor Vex received an unexpected message. A hologram of the United Earth Defense Council appeared before him. Your Empire's time is over, General Chen declared. But unlike you, we don't seek to destroy. We offer a choice. Join a new Galactic Federation as equals, or face complete isolation from interstellar society. The message was clear. Humanity had no interest in becoming the new empire. They wanted to create something different, a coalition of equals, where every species could contribute their strengths. Admiral Zixthor, watching his mighty fleet powered down and drifting, finally understood humanity's true strength. It wasn't their weapons or their technology. It was their ability to turn enemies into allies, to learn from their mistakes, to grow stronger from adversity. Supreme Chancellor, he said, turning to Vex, we must accept their terms. They could destroy us, but instead they offer peace. This is why they are stronger than us. The Empire's surrender was broadcasted across the galaxy. But instead of humiliation and punishment, humanity showed something the Empire had never expected: mercy. From this day forward, Commander Drake announced to all worlds, the galaxy enters a new age, the age of the Federation, where all species work together, where knowledge is shared, not hoarded, where strength comes from unity, not dominance. The Empire's former subject worlds quickly joined the new Federation. They had seen how humanity fought against oppression, and they wanted to be part of this new order. 1 year later, Earth hosted the first Galactic Federation Council. Representatives from 100 worlds, including the former Empire, gathered to shape the galaxy's future. Admiral Zixthor, now serving as the former Empire's representative, addressed the council. We came to Earth thinking we would find primitives. Instead, we found teachers. Humanity showed us that true civilization isn't about conquering others. It's about growing together. Commander Drake, looking out at the assembled alien representatives, smiled. Let this be a lesson to any future threats, she said. Humanity doesn't seek war, but we will always be ready. And if you come looking for an easy conquest, you'll find something very different. As the new Federation flag was raised, showing Earth and the former Empire worlds as equal partners, the galaxy entered a new era. Humanity had not just survived their first interstellar war, they had transformed it into an opportunity for galactic peace. The warning was clear to all. Never underestimate humans. They're not as primitive as they appear, and they're far more dangerous than you can imagine.